Recording in progress.
Okay. Uh, so guys, here yesterday we started normalization, and the first normal form we discuss here. So when we called our table is in first normal form. Okay. So the few conditions and rules are there to satisfy your first normal form. It means that whenever you want to design a table at the time of designing level, so these things will be remembered. And based on these rules, if you design or create your table, then that table is called as what now? Normalized table we called. Okay. If in this anyone is going to be break, then it is called as not a normalized table. Okay. Right. And these are the four rules, whatever we discussed in the last class here. Observe. And come back to the next one, second normal form. So what is second normal form? Carefully observe. For a table to be in the second normal form, it must satisfy two conditions here. So when your table is called as a second normalization table, then what your table need to satisfy means your two conditions are satisfied. First one we called as table should be in the first normal form. That means your table, as usual, first it will be satisfied your first normal form, four conditions. So what is the condition? Every column should be atomic value and based on the data type, the related data only accepted, and duplicate column name should not be there. It means that every column name is called a unique and order of the data any manner. So that should be satisfied, and along with that four conditions, what next we need to satisfy means there should be no partially dependency. It means that when you design your table and table columns, okay, you need to check each and every column is a dependency column or partially dependency columns. That also we need to check. Suppose in your table, if you have partially dependency columns are there in the table, then immediately those columns we need to remove. Understand? Na? Suppose in your table you have a fully dependency columns are there, then don't remove, as it is you can carry on. Yes or no? So here what it was saying that the second normalization technique, what it was tell us, the second normalization, what it was tell us here, when you designing your table, in that table there should not be partially dependency columns. So that means how I want to design my table without having any partially dependency columns, the type of columns we don't want to take in my table. Okay. So in such a way we need to design. That is called a second normal form. But before you want to understand what is partially dependency, the first we need to get some idea on what is dependency. Now let me read. I think this document all of you got it now. Ah, now, so now what it is dependency here, observe. In a table, if non-key columns, what is the mean by non-key columns means? In the bracket I was given non-primary key column. What is that? Non-primary. So non-key column is nothing but non-primary key column. So non-primary key columns are depends on key column. Key column means what now? Primary key column. Key column means what now? Primary key column. Then it is called as fully dependency or functional dependency we called. Okay, na? So what it was saying, in a table, non-primary key columns are depends on a primary key column, then it is called as a fully dependency we called. Okay. Here example, let me see. A, B, C, D. These are the 4 columns I was taken. Okay, now in this 4 columns, can you find out? Okay, 1 second, guys. Okay, in this, the 4 columns, A column, B column, C column, D column. In this 4 columns, A column is which type of column? Primary key. So that means on A column, I was applied a primary key constant. And already we discussed primary key, foreign key. Can you remember now? So now here B and C and D, these are called as a non-primary key columns. Non-primary key columns. Okay. Now, so these are non-primary key columns and this is primary key column, right? So now here also I was given A is a primary key column. It means that key column. Okay. And B, C, D are non-key columns. Then what I'm saying here, these B, C, D columns are depends on primary key column. That means these all non-primary key columns are depends on primary key column. Then it is called as a fully dependency columns or fully dependency table. Because how many columns total? 4 columns. In 4 columns in my table, suppose you have 100 columns in your table. Out of 100 columns, okay, 1 column is primary key. And on that column, remaining 99 columns are depending on that. Then it is called a fully. Okay, that is the definition, explanation. And now example you can see. Suppose I created one of my table is what now? Student table. In student table, which columns I was taken? Student ID, name, branch, and address. Okay. On this, one of my column I was applied, which what I was applied here? Primary key constant we applied. So primary key constant we applied on which column? Student ID column. That means student ID column, can I say it is a key column now? Yes. And remaining columns are there in this table. What is that? Name, branch, address. But on these columns, do you have any primary key? No. So that means, can I say these 3 columns are, can I say it is a non-primary key columns? Yes, definitely. So that what happened here, suppose these non-primary key columns are, if it is depends on student ID column, because student ID is a primary key column, then it is called as a fully dependency. How it was dependency means here, observe. For example, suppose your friend is working in a company, in a particular Wipro, Infosys or somewhere he was working. So you knows your friend, okay, and your friend where it is working, that also you know. So now you will go to that company. You want to meet your friend, so you are going to company. When you are going to company, there's some visitors. Okay, timing hours are there. The visitors will come out, okay, and they will be meet their friends or family circles, whatever it is. Okay, so you are going to the company, okay, in visiting hours, and you are asking to that management, that means company people, so who are having the receptionist or something, you are asking to receptionist, I want to meet my friend Mr. X. If you say Mr. X is a name, if you say your friend name, and I want to meet so-and-so my friend, and his name is so-and-so, if you say that, then you will get a response. You will get a response? No. So the receptionist, what he was telling, sir, on the name of Mr. X, there are so many employees are working in my company. So who you want it exactly? Because Mr. X, the name, same name, there are 3-4 people are there in my company. So who you want it exactly? Yes or no? So again confused. So you are saying that my friend is working in Java department, sir. Okay, then he will checking. In Java department on the same name, there are 2 employees are there. Then again asking what? Again confused. Madam or sir, so your friend in Java department, there are 2 people are there on the name of Mr. X. Who you want it again? You are saying that, sir, uska surname so and so, surname. But unfortunately, those people, surnames also same. So this much confusion is going to be happen. And it's a lot of time taken to get your person. Yes or no? But instead of knowing this, all the things, your friend name, your friend is working in which department, what is what, instead of this all nonsense, you know employee ID number, can you meet? Yes or no? Yes. Because maybe names are same. Maybe working department same. Maybe surname also matching. But which was is not matching? ID number. That's why whenever you want to meet anybody in any company, no need to take all the details. Take that person, employee ID number. So that ID number through, can I find out my person? Yes or no? Yes, because IDs are always unique numbers. Okay, here also same the point. So if I want to know about my student and the student ID number basis, can I know the entire details of student? Yes or no? Yes. So I don't want, if suppose I want to Sai, yes, Sai, 2 people are there. Who you want it? Confusion. Suppose my Sai is working in, okay, CSC branch. So how many CSC here? CSC branch, 3 people are there. Again, confusion. So suppose that person is located in Hyderabad. Here, Hyderabad, 2 people are there. Again, confusion. But I wanted 101 means, any 101 is there? No. And primary key is not accepted what? Duplicate values. So it's always a unique maintenance. So that means instead of knowing name and branch and address, what you want to know? ID. So based on that ID number, that ID related student entire the details will be fetching from the table. Fetching from the table. For example, same thing. So when you go for, nowadays we have a PAN card number, Aadhaar card numbers are there. Or banking sector, in banking account number is there. Instead of name and whatever it is, if you go to banking, the people will ask your name or your number. Your number is asking. If you have any problem, what they will show you, what they will ask you, they will ask you your number. So when they was entered your account number, your complete details will come now. Yes or no? Yes, your name, your father name, your mother name, your permanent address, temporary address, your mobile number. Okay. So all date of birth, all kind of things will be storing based on that account number. So your account number is called as a key. Based on this key number, I can find out the entire details of a person. Like in the same to same, if I enter Aadhaar card number, can I get your details? Can I get your details? Yes. If I have a PAN card number, can I get your details? Yes. So this is what. For example, nowadays we can see students. If students want to know their result, what they are using? Are using name or using or all ticket number? All ticket number is using. If we enter student name means no one can come because on the name of same, so many people are there. So that's why they are asking what? Enter roll number or enter all ticket number. If you entered all ticket number, complete biodata will come now. Yes or no? Your name, your branch, your year pass out, okay, your subjects, your total marks, how much you want to obtain marks, total percentage, grade, everything will be got it with the help of what? All ticket number. So that means here all ticket number means what? It is called a key column. So that means the remaining information when it is depends on a particular number or a particular identity, then it is called as a fully dependency. Our entire the details depends on our Aadhaar number, then Aadhaar number and my details is called as a fully dependency. Now here also, if I wanted so-and-so person, okay, so-and-so student, if I want it from this table, then if I'm using my query like this, if I'm using my query like this, okay, now I'm using my query like this. Now I wanted a particular SAI details I wanted. When you wanted a particular SAI details based on the name, if I want to retrieve, select the students where student name is equals to SAI. So if I was entered this query, if I'm going to enter this query, what it was happen, guys? On the name of SAI, how many people are there? That every details will be come to you. Suppose this query, if I applied on my student table, what happened here? SAI, how many SAIs are there? 2 SAI. So here my required person will not come. On the name of SAI, how many rows are there in the table? All rows are come to me. But you wanted all people or required person? Required person. His name is what? Sai. But the problem is what? On the name of Sai, how many students? 2 students are there. So that means you are not getting accurate data. Okay, sir, I don't want it. Then I want to go for branch wise. I want to take. So branch wise I want to take means, now what you can say, branch name is equal. So suppose Sai is working in, okay, CSC branch student. If I'm giving condition B name is equals to CSC, then what it was happen here? Again, CSC people, how many people are there? 3 people. 3 people are come to me. That means Sai come, James come, Miller come. Okay, so this is also have a confusion. So suppose I want to use address. Suppose my Sai is located in, okay, is located in where now? Hyderabad. So address is equals to what I'm doing? Hyderabad. But what it was happen here? In Hyderabad also, how many people are there? 2 people are there. 2 people will come. So that means what you wanted exactly, the person details or student details, that you are not achieved. Along with that, some extra data also we are fetching. This kind of problem will be there. But in the same to same, whatever these conditions I'm using, address, name, and branch, these are key columns or non-key columns? Non-key columns. That's why this is the problem. But if I wanted exactly who I wanted, that person, student ID number, if I enter 101, then what is happening here? So which will come? 101 Sai, who I wanted, that person come. But this Sai will come? No. Why, sir? Because this Sai student ID is what? 102. But I'm asking what? 101. So that means what happened? This table is called as a fully dependency table. This table columns, how it was? Fully dependency. That means student name, student branch, student address. These all columns are depending on student ID column. That means in this table, do you have any partially dependency columns are there? No. Partially means half of the dependency. That was not there, and that kind of column is not there. So when your table is having like this, your all non-primary key columns are depending on only key column, and based on key column, the remaining column data I can fetch it immediately, whatever I wanted. So in that cases, I don't have any problem, because here all are having fully dependency columns are there. Name is depending on ID. Branch is depending on ID. Address is depending on ID. So all are depends on ID. And ID is which type? Primary key type. That's why here all columns are depends on key column. That means in this table, we have a fully dependency columns only, but not partial. So when you don't have a partial dependency columns in your table, then you don't want to do anything on this table. As it is, this table design and give to developer. And give to developer, because there is nothing problem in this. Okay, now this is called as what? Fully dependency. Come to next one is what is your partially dependency. Now we can see what is partially dependency. Definition, read first. In a table, if non-key column, non-key means non-primary key column, depends on part of the key column, okay, then it is called as a partially dependency. Now how we can define this subset? Here are my columns A, B, C, D. How many columns? 4 columns. Out of 4 columns, I was applied a primary key column on how many columns? 2 columns. This type of primary key, what we discuss? Composite primary key. Can you remember now? Normalization concept, if you want to understand, you should have a good knowledge on constant concept. And already constant concept we discussed. So if you have a good idea on constants, the normalization techniques are understanding. Otherwise, confusion. Okay. So now you observe. My primary key, the programmer was applied A and B column. So whenever you applied primary key on multiple combination of columns, the type of primary key is called as a composite primary key. Okay. So finally, A and B, these two are called as a key columns. Okay now? Right. And CD are non-key columns. Then D depends on B but not A. Otherwise, D depends on A but not B. Otherwise, C depends on B but not A. Otherwise, C depends on B but not A, or A depends or not B. Okay. So that means if non-key column is depending on any one of the key column, any one of the only, not both. Suppose this D is depending on both columns, then it is called a fully dependency. It's called what? Fully dependency. But here what we said, partially dependency. Partial means what now? Any one of them. For example, if you want to understand easily, for example, in a family, father, mother, children are there. Now these children are depends on father and mother, then it is called as full or partial. Fully dependency we call. In some family, what it was happen, any one of them is there. So either father and children are there, mother, no mother. Then this is what? These children are fully dependency people or partially dependency. Only father is there. In some families, only mother is there, father is not there. Then that kind of children are called as what now? Partially dependency. So when the children depends on mother and father, both of them, then it is called a fully dependency. Any one of them, then it is called a partially dependency. This is a simple way to understanding your what is partial, what is full. So now here also same. So D is a non-primary key column, is a child. He was depends on B but not A, or depends on A but not B, but any one of them only. When any one of them it was depend, then it is called a partially dependency column we called. Suppose that type of columns are there in your table. If it is come in your table, then immediately those columns will be removed from your table and keep into another table. Separate. Yes or no? I want to keep separately. Now you can see one practical example. Now you can see what is my table name? Course. In course table, I was taken student ID and subject ID. Okay, now later marks and teacher. So there are how many columns in this table total? 4 columns are there. Out of 4 columns, I was applied primary key on student ID and subject ID. So that means these 2 columns are which type of columns? Primary key or key columns. You can say key columns also. And both are primary key columns. Carefully observe. And marks and teacher. These are primary key columns or non-primary key columns? Non-primary key columns. Careful observe. These are non-primary. These are primary. So now I'm asking. Now marks column is there. Can you tell me guys here, this marks column is depending on subject or student or both of them? Both of them. Yes or no? So marks, if you want to obtain, first student want to write a examination. Yes or no? Examination are you writing on subject? So yes, student is important and subject. Both combination marks will be obtained. Yes or no? So that means marks column is a fully dependency column or partially dependency column. Partially, yeah. Fully dependency column, because marks column depending on student ID and subject ID. And these both columns are which type of columns? Key columns. That means this column is a fully dependency. Father and mother, both are there here. Yes or no? So that's okay. But what about guys here? Now next column is there here. The column is teacher. Now tell me, teacher is a non-primary key column. Teacher is depending on subject or depending on student or both of them? Carefully observe. Student is depending on only subject but not student. Why? Because you're asking why, sir? Why? Because a student is what now? Temporary. Okay, suppose after 2 weeks your batch is completed. Your batch is completed means you all people are living from me. Yes or no? So you're living and you're going to your searching job, whatever it is. And then what happened next? These narrative people will take one more new batch in your timings. So again, what happened? New students are coming to me. So here the point is, student is temporary to me, coming and going. But what is I'm teaching? Oracle. Subject is my lifelong, na? Is my permanent, na? Yes. That means I want to depends on what? Subject. So because subject is with me for lifelong. Students are temporary, coming and going. How many days you stick with me? Up to your course is completed. Once completed, anybody stick with me? No. So you're all are leave outside. Yes or no? So again, new students coming. So you students, you people go to leave, and again new students come. But still, I'm teaching what? Oracle only. But I'm not changing now. My subject is not changing now. My subject will be same. So I'm always teaching Oracle for any number of branches. But your point is what now? My subject is permanent. But what is not permanent? Students are not permanent. So that means I depends on what? Subject. I got a job. What? Subject. Yes or no? So you got a job, student or subject? Based on subject. For example, you will be get a Java developer. How can you get a Java developer? He is a narrative student. Give a job. Lelo, job lelo. Because he is a narrative. They will give it like this? No. They will check your knowledge. You have a knowledge on that particular subject or not. Okay, that will be checking. So after checking only, they will give an offer. Yes or no? So without checking, they're saying that I'm an RSIT student. Come, job is there. Come and sit work. Salary I'm giving. Anybody do like this? Otherwise, I'm a Sudhakar sir student. Come, job le lo. Anybody giving? Otherwise, I'm a Harikrishna sir student. Come, le lo, job le lo. Anybody giving like this? No. Harikrishna sir, Natras sir, Sudhakar sir, these are only faculties. But job you want it. These are nothing help you. Who will really help? Your subject is help you. Show your talent. Show your subject. Okay, then only they will take it to you. Or you are not a reference of so-and-so. Yes or no? Even though the reference candidates also, they are taking some interview. Minimum interview. Yes or no? If it is not their subject is not there, what happened? No one can take it. Maybe you are a superstar. No one can take it. Because I wanted what? Subject to my work. Okay, now? So now here, okay. So teacher is depends on what now? Subject. And student is temporary for me. So that means teacher depends on subject means here one of them. That means subject only depends means. Now can I say teacher is called as a partially dependency column? Yes or no? Is it a partial or fully? Partially. So here the point also same thing I was given in theory part also that you have to read. Okay now. So that means in this core table I was found one of my column is what now? Teacher. So this column is a depends on subject but not student. So that means I found one partially dependency column in this table. Then what we want to do? If your table is having a partially dependency column, then the table is not comes under second normalization form. Okay. Then that kind of columns, when you find out, then those columns will be separate from this table. How I want to separate here, then we will be designed like this. Now the two tables I designed here, observe. One separate table is what now? Subject table. One separate table is what now? Score table. This is score table. In score table, I used as the student ID and subject ID. What I kept here? Marks. Because marks is what now? Fully dependency column. So this column I didn't change. This column as it is, I'm keeping under same table. But what I removed here? What I removed here? Teacher. The teacher is removed and adding into another table. That means I'm creating one more new table. I'm creating one more new table creating with the name of what now? Subject table. And in this table, what I'm taking? Subject ID column, subject name, and teacher. Okay now. So now what happened here? Teacher is depending on what? Subject ID. Because subject ID, if you say primary key column, then subject name and teacher, this both of them are this both of columns depends on subject ID. Then this both of them depends on subject ID. Can I say it is a fully dependency columns? Yes. So that means in my subject table, all are having here fully dependency column. There is no partially. And here also there is no partially. Then both tables are satisfied. Which form? Second, normalization form. Both are satisfied what? Second normalization form. Because second normalization form, what it was tell us? No partial dependency columns. Now we can see subject table, no partial dependency. You can see score table, no partial dependencies. So that is what we said. Can you remember yesterday? Normalization is a technique of organizing the data into multiple tables. Now multiple tables now? Yes or no? Yes. Like this, based on our technique, based on our requirement, you have to design number of tables and store your or organize your data. That technique is called a normalization. So now here, how many tables I prepared here? Two tables. Previously, how many tables I have it here? One table. But one table problem is there, partial dependency. That's why this table will be splitting into two tables. Okay, now? So that is what. So now this is second normalization technique we called. And next one is called as what? Third normalization technique. So what is third normalization technique? And when we called your table comes under third normal form. Means here observe. So third normal form, again it was saying what now? Two conditions should be satisfied. The first condition should be in second normal form. That means whatever we said, second normal form conditions, that should be applied. There is no partially dependency column. And the second one is what now we said, should not have a transitive dependency columns. Here one more new technique is came. One more new problem is came. What is the new problem? Transitive dependencies. That means if your table is having any transitive dependency columns, then those columns again, what I want to do? Remove from the table and keep into another table. Okay now? That was telling by what? Third normal form. And now see, what is transitive dependency? First definition, understand. What is the definition here? In a table, if non-key column depends on another non-key column. Yeah, very important. Both are non-key columns. That means your primary key is not related here. So one non-primary key column depends on another non-primary key column. That kind of dependencies are there in your table columns. Then that is called a transitive problem. What problem? Transitive. So transitive means what now? Each other. That means one-to-one dependencies are there. And those dependencies should not have a primary keys. Okay. Let you see one small example. Here come to composite primary key. I was applied on student ID and subject ID, my table score and marks column as it is. And additionally, two columns I'm adding. Which column? Examination name and total marks. Okay now. Here carefully observe. It's a very important. Just logically observe. So marks column is depending on both of them. Okay now? Yes. Examination column depends on both of them. Total marks column depends on both of them here. So primary key, leave it. All are dependencies. Now I want to check what now? Non-primary keys I want to check. Non-primary keys, how many columns non-primary keys? 3 columns. In 3 columns, non-primary keys are there. So in this 3 column, you have to check first of all. What is that? Examination name depends on marks. So both are here having dependencies. But tell me guys here, total marks is depends on examination name column or marks column? Carefully tell me. Total marks depends on marks of or else examination. Think carefully. Think your BTech subjects. Recall. My BTech subjects, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How many examinations I written? 4 examination. How many total marks? Think. Your total marks depends on examination name or marks. Here I'm asking total marks. Obtained marks is different. Total marks is different. First think. Obtained marks means student obtained marks means scoring. How much you scored? Total means now tell me your total marks depending on your exams or your obtained marks. Exams na? Are yaar, if total marks is 600 here, you obtained how much? 400. Then total marks depend on 400. Where it is depend on? Examination. Understand now? Your examination total marks will called as a total marks. That means suppose you are having 6 subjects, for example. Each subject is having 100 marks. Then what is your total marks? 600. Out of 600, how many you scored? 450, 550 you scored. So 550 your total marks are. No. Total marks is how much? 600. Out of 600, you got it 450 marks. Grade A, grade B, first class, second class, division, whatever it is. But your total marks is what? 600. If anybody asks your interview panel, what is your total marks of BTech? What do you say? Your obtained marks you're telling or your total marks is telling? Total marks tell it here. If anybody asks you what is your obtained marks means, you have to tell I was obtained so-and-so marks out of so-and-so, sir. But your total marks means complete your examination marks. Okay, and nowadays, as you are what we can say, general talking, what is your total marks means? We are saying that what now? Our total marks, not your subject marks. Our total marks we are telling as per what we can say, general communication. Okay, but terminology wise, you can observe. Total marks is always depends on your examinations. For example, you have a BTech, some civil, mechanical, whatever it is. One subject is there. Subject 1. In subject 1, few marks are related to theory exam. Few marks are related to practical exam. Yes or no? Having a? You have it like this? Yes or no, yaar? अरे मैंने कुछ नहीं बोल रहा कि ऐसे जब भी मैंने सुना नहीं क्या बोल रहा है सर? What I'm asking, you have some subject in BTech, CSC, IT, whatever it is. Every subject is having only theory. No. Some subjects are how it is theory plus practical combination. If I'm asking theory plus practical means for one subject, how many examinations are you writing? 2 examinations are you writing? One examination is theory. One examination is practical. This both examination marks is called as a total. Yes or no? That means here your total marks depends on what? Examination names. For example, in AP Telangana, in Telugu states, I'm telling, 10th class student is there. Maybe present the pattern was changed or not, I don't know. But previously, in AP Telangana, 10th class student having how many subjects? 6 subjects. But he was writing how many examinations? 5. 6 subject to 5 exams. Mathematics, 2 papers. Paper 1, paper 2. Science, paper 1, paper 2. Social studies, paper 1, paper 2. Next what? Telugu, Sanskrit, whatever. OB, paper 1, paper 2. Okay, paper 1, paper 2. English, paper 1, paper 2. And one more is there. Hindi, 1 paper, I think so. Total 6 subjects, but we are writing how many exams? 11, 11 examinations we are writing. In Telugu states, I'm telling, I don't know out of the other states. So, in Telugu state, 10th class subjects are only 6 only. But they are writing how many examinations? 11 examinations. Now tell me, your total marks will calculated 6 subjects is nothing but how many examinations? 11 examinations papers total marks is called as your 10th class total marks. Yes or no? In paper 1, how much you obtain? Paper 2, how much you obtain? Both combination will give you your obtained marks as well as total marks. Okay, now? So that means subjects are 6, but you are writing 11 examinations. And these 11 examinations marks is called as a total marks. What is the total marks? In 10th class, 600. So 600, 6 subjects, 600. Satisfied. But how many examinations you are writing? 11 examinations. Paper 1, 50. Paper 2, 50. These 2 examinations, when I combined, total is what? 100 marks. If I'm not combined, then 50 marks only. Yes or no? So by this logic, some exams or some subjects are having theory, some subjects are having practical. So this all combination, the people will say your total marks of your B.Tech. If I'm asking B.Tech total marks means you have to semester wise all you can. What is that? Internal examinations, external examinations, lab examinations. These all mixing, then you are getting a final total marks. So it means your total marks is depending on your examination names. The student, how many exams he written, each exam marks will called as a total marks. That all combination of all exams are called as a total marks. So it means total marks is called a non-primary key. Examination name is also called a non-primary key. So that means total marks is depending on another non-primary key, examination name. So that means here we have what now? Transitive dependency columns. Examination names representing total marks. Total marks will be calculated based on examination names. So that means both are what it is? Transitive dependency to each other. Transitive, transparency. Okay, transparency means what now? Reflected. Reflected, huh? Yes. So now the both are here. So that means in this code table, whatever the 2 columns are there, these are called as a transitive dependency columns. Okay, when these type of columns are there here, then I want to separate them. Okay, that's the point here. Okay, I was given here, so all theoretically you can read and understand. And now I separate them. How I want to remove this transitive dependency columns? Again, I have to decompose or split your table into multiple tables. First one is what now? Score table. In score table, student ID, subject ID, marks, I was kept as it is. And additionally, one column is added that is called a examination ID column. And this examination ID column is which type? Foreign key type. And now, whatever the transitive dependency to each other columns are there, those columns are separated. Separated and keeping into another table I created. The table name is what now? Exam table. In exam table, again, what I added? Exam ID was added, new column. So this identity is represented to examination name and total marks. And this identity is making relationship with what? Score table with what? Foreign key. So that means here, foreign key column, primary key column is there, means these 2 tables are having relation now. Yes or no? Yes. Now we can see Now what happened? Examination ID primary key, examination name total marks. So examination name workshop. Workshop total marks how much? 200. Mains how much? That's 70. Practicals how much? 30. So based on your examination, workshop exam, main exams, practical exams, your marks will be changed. Your marks will be changed. Okay now. So workshop exam total 200 marks. Mains total 70 marks. Practicals total 30 marks. Okay now. Each and every separation of exams and their total marks. So now what happened here? Here examination ID PK primary key. So that means here these are non-primary key. But what it was happened, these two columns are depends on where? Examination ID. When these two columns are depending on examination ID now it's changed ID, then it's called as what? Fully dependency columns. Here also what? Fully dependency column. So in this table, there is no transitive, and in this table, there is no transitive. Now these are converting into fully dependency tables. But fully dependency tables are nothing problem, na? Yes or no? What is my problem? Transitive problem. But here transitive columns are there? No, not there. Because why, sir? You people asking, sir, here also there, na? There means here what happened? What I'm adding? Primary key column is adding. That means now these two columns are not depending on these two each other. These are depending on what? Primary key column, because that is main key column. So now it will be converting into examination ID. These two are depending on examination ID. So that's why here what happened? Fully dependency columns are there, but there is no transitives. And here also marks is depending on student and subject. So here also fully dependency column is there, but there is no transitive columns. It means my exam table and score table both are again satisfied your normalization technique, and third normal successfully satisfied, and second normal also successfully satisfied. So that's why, can you see guys here what we said? When your table should be comes under third normal form, what I said, your table should be in the second normal. Second normal means what now? No partially dependency columns. And now see, you have any partially dependency columns? See it, any partial dependency here? Having a here? No. Okay, that means both are having partially or fully? Fully dependency. Fully dependency means these are supported second normal form, na? Yes. That means my first condition satisfied, na? Yes. What is my first condition? Yes, my table should be in the second normal. So both are having in the second normal because there is no partial columns. And second one is what now? Should not have a transitive dependencies. And now tell me, any transitive dependency here? Not at all. And even though transitive dependency is also not there. That means my first condition satisfied should be in the second normal form, and there is no transitive dependency columns. It means that my third normalization, two conditions are satisfied. Satisfied? Yes. Then we called as a, these are comes under third normal form. Okay, na? So it will be little bit confusions, but one thing remember, normalization techniques are developer will not be using. Only who is this? Designers, and only back-end designers, not front-end designers. It's a purely back-end designers concept. Okay. Okay. But as our schedule, it was there. I was explaining to you. Okay. But Java student, .NET student, just minimum idea you should be required. But you can't go to design these all the things. Who will design in your company? Database designers will design, and those people will take care about these all the things before development. Okay, na? But here what is what? You have to understand. So this is third normalization technique form. And next one, observe. The next one, another important technique, Boy's code normal form. That is called what now? BCNF. So BCNF. Then when your table is called as a BCNF means, again here also two conditions. For a table to satisfy BCNF, that means Boy's code normal form, it should be satisfied the following again two conditions. First condition is what now? Your table should be in the third normal form. Third normal form means no transitive dependency columns. That's the first thing. No transitive dependency columns. Okay. Second, some new future and new rule is what now? And for any dependency, A depends on B, then A should be super key. Oh, your new concept is came. What is the new concept? Super key concept. Okay, na? So here, what I was saying here, first thing is in your table should not have a transitive dependency columns. It means your table should be there in the third normal form. And next one is what now? If suppose A column is a depends on B column, then A column should be super key. Otherwise, B column, when it depends on A column, then B column should be super key. It's any one. If A depends on B, A should be super key. Or else B depends on A, B should be super key. Any one should be there like this. Either A to B or B to A. Okay. Here the new concept is what now? Super key. So what is super key here? First we will take some definition. Carefully observe. So super key and candidate keys, these two definitions we will discuss. Carefully observe. First to super key. Super key, what it was telling guys here, observe. A column means single column or combination of columns. Either single column or else combination of columns, which are uniquely, unique means same or different. Say, after 2 weeks, subject is over. Again, what is mean by unique means same. Abhi tak 2.5 months. In 2.5 months, what is the mean of unique? Still doubt. Unique means not same here. Unique means what? Different here. You are saying, nah, I'm a unique style. You are saying in front of your friend, I'm not like that. I'm a different. You are saying that or not? So only one piece. Unique piece. Your piece is your only. So now, your unique means what? Different guys. Don't say same. After 2.5 months course, again you are saying unique means same means it's not correct. Okay, na? What is it? Uniquely. Unique means different. What it was saying? A column, that means a single column or combination of columns, which are uniquely identifying a row in a table is called as a super key. Definition, understand now? What is the definition? A column or a combination of columns are uniquely identifying each and every row in a table is called as a super key. Okay, now? So this is definition. Example, you can see. How can you find out? For example, student table is there. And why I'm taking student table means you can easily understand. That's it. Okay. So now in the student table, as usual, student ID, name, branch, mail ID, registration numbers. Okay, now? Right. So I have here 4 students. So their student IDs I was given. Their names I was given. Their branches, their IDs, mail IDs, their registration numbers. Okay, let me see. My question, in this table, total, how many number of columns? 5 columns. Out of 5 columns, now I need to identify first of all, super key columns I want to identify. Super key column means what we said? A column or combination of columns are uniquely identifying a row in a table. That type of columns are called a super key columns. Now, first one you can see student ID column first. First one is what now? Student ID column, check out. In student ID column, each row wise, you have any duplicate number? No. Having any duplicate? No. So that means in this table, how many rows? 4 rows. How many columns? 5 columns. So in the 4 rows, student ID number in this 4 rows, student ID column values having any duplicate ID? No. That means each and every row, how many rows? 4 rows. Each and every row, student ID column values are unique or duplicate? Unique. So that means, can I say student ID column is identifying in which way? Uniquely. Uniquely identifying each and every row in this table. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. So that means my student ID, can I say it is a super key column? Can I say or no? Yes, super key column. Okay, that means one super key column in this. Next column, can you check out name? In the name column also, how many rows? 4 rows. And every row value you can see do have a unique or duplicates. Duplicate. What is that? Sai, Sai. In name column, we have a duplicate. Sai, Sai. So that means this column values are uniquely identifying your rows? No, never. Because I have a duplicate is there, Sai. So that means this column is not a super key column. This column is not a super key column. Okay, fine. Next column, compare. What is the next column? Branch. Branch column, you can see super key or not a super key? Not as a super key. Why? Because duplicates are there. Okay, this is not. Next, mail ID column. Can you see each and every row mail ID is a unique or same? Unique. So, and of course, your all mail IDs are unique now. So my user ID of Gmail account, your user ID of Gmail account is matching? Matching? Never. Impossible. Every user ID is a unique. Okay, na? So here also mail IDs are unique. So all students, there are 4 students, but 4 students are having different mail IDs. That means these all mail IDs is what type? Unique type. Can I say now mail ID column is a super key column? Yes, right. Come to next one is what now? Registration number. Registration number, can you see each and every student registration number is unique or different? Oh, sorry, unique or same? Unique, because your registration number is not matched with your friend registration number, because every student registration number is also unique. Okay, now unique. So that means, can I say registration number column is also super key column? Yes or no? Now entire this table, how many super key columns? 3 super key columns. What are those? Student ID, mail ID, registration number. Okay. So individually, you see examples of super keys: student ID, mail ID, registration number. But here observe, not individually, even though we said here what? Combination of columns also. Now you can combination. Can you define your combination now? Student ID with a combination of mail ID. If both combination of columns, if you see, both are showing uniqueness na? Uniqueness na? 101 sai@gmail.com. Unique. Next, so that these 2 columns. Now, mail ID column with the combination of registration numbers, all are also uniqueness. Registration number with the student ID, again also unique. So that means here the point is any 2 super key columns, again super key. Understand na? Super key column plus super key column, again super key. Understand na? Super key column plus super key column, again super key only. Okay, now that's why, can I write like this here? Student ID plus mail ID. Can I say both combination super key? Yes, because both are having uniqueness. And mail ID plus registration number. Can I say super key? Yes, both are called as a uniqueness. Registration number plus student ID. Can I say super keys? Yes, both are having again uniqueness. That means either individual or combination. If both are showing uniqueness, then those are called as a super key columns. So that means what happened? Either individually, these are all are super keys. Any two super key columns combination is also called as a super key. Either student ID, mail ID combination, either mail ID registration combination, either registration student ID combination. But again, it will called as a super key. And now can I say super key plus super key plus super key is also called a super key. So student ID, mail ID, registration. Again, this three combination also I can say super keys. That means the super key can be defined in this table in such a way. How many levels defined? 3 levels. First one, individually defined. Later, combination of 2 defined. And later, combination of 3 defined. But whatever you say, these all are comes under super key combinations we called. Clear na? This is what is super key and how to identify super key in my columns. Second one is what now? Candidate key. Careful observe. Candidate key. So candidate key definition read. A minimum or minimal. A minimal super key which is uniquely identifying a row in a table is called as a candidate key. A minimal means here 3 level combination. Here combination of how many columns? Here combination of how many columns? Here combination of how many columns? 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. In this, what is minimum? 1 is minimum. 1 means individually minimum. So 2 combination not a minimum. 3 combination not a minimum. Which is minimum here? Single is called a minimum. So that means what I say, every individual super key column, every individual super key column is also called as a candidate key. So now student ID is a candidate key, mail ID is a candidate key, registration number is a candidate key. But remember, any two super key column combination, it will be super key, but it not be candidate key. Understand na? Any two combination of super key columns, it will be super key, but not a candidate key. Candidate key means only mind. What is your mind? Individuality, not a combination, only individualities. So every individual super key is called as a candidate key. But two combination of super key columns is never candidate key. That's why can you see this is combination, so not a candidate key. These are combination, not a candidate key. So what I'm saying, individualities. Every individual super key column is also called as a candidate column. Understand na? Now this is super key candidate key definitions. And now here one more interesting point I will tell you. By seeing of this, you will get some more knowledge. There will be some more idea. What is this means? Primary key, candidate key, super key. These all are called as a same. That means primary key column is called as a super key column. Primary key column is also called as a candidate column. That means a primary key column will behave in different formations. Super key formation, candidate key formation, primary key. But when we call these are things, means here observe. When your primary key was applied on single column in a table, then it is called as a simple primary key. Then it is called as a candidate key. Then it is called as a super key. When we apply a primary key on a single column in a table, that column can be defined simple primary key column, candidate column, even though super key column also we can call. But the same primary key, when you apply here, what is that? Multiple columns, then we called as composite primary key, and then we called as super key, but we cannot call it as a candidate key. Understand? No? So primary key when both columns is called a composite key or super key. When primary key on every individual column, simple primary, candidate and super. So whatever the names will be different, but all are comes under the types of primary keys only. The part of not types. It's a part of primary key only. Okay, now. So this is finally can concluded here. Okay. So simple key, simple primary, candidate, super is also called as a primary key only. But where you apply multiple columns or single column? Single column. But when you apply multiple columns, then we can say not simple primary key, we can say what? Composite primary key. And even though we call it as a super key, but we cannot call it as a candidate key. Okay, now? So this is the different names we called your primary key. Okay, so these are what we called as here simple primary and candidate key, super key. Okay. Okay, right. So this is what now. Okay, single and multiple columns depends on primary key. It will be different names we called. So these are what now. Okay, the primary, super key and candidate key definition. So based on this definition, guys, come to your which law? Boy's code normalization formula. Okay. In this, what we said, first of all, you should be your table in the third normal form, and any dependency A depends on B, then A should be what I said, super key compulsory. Okay, now if A is not a super key, then A depends on B, but A is not a super key, then that rule is not applicable in your Boy's code. The Boy's code will never accept that kind of a rule and columns. Okay, now right. But how it will be defined? Okay, so do one thing, you people. First, this example, all of you read tomorrow. Okay, now. So already documentation you have now. Up to here, only Boy's code normal form. This tables and theory, read it. Okay, now. After reading, what you understand that, and come to class. I will explain here. Okay, but tomorrow, regular student and online students. Okay, online students. Tomorrow you have a doubt session. So from 11:30 to 12:30. Okay, now from last week and this week. Okay, so whatever you have a doubts, you can ask me. Okay, on tomorrow. Understand now? Online students, tomorrow you have a doubt session. Okay, and of course, offline people also last week online is happening now. When I was outstation, yes or no? Suppose you also have the last week any doubts, not this week, previous week, this week doubts also ask, no problem. Last week doubts in online, whatever it was happening in those concepts, if you have any doubt, you also connect to online. Already you have an ID now, yes or no? So tomorrow I'm not taking class, complete a doubt session class. So if anybody have your previous week and present week, have any doubts in those 2 weeks classes, you can come to online and we will discuss that. Okay, now understand now? So online students, you also same like this. So if anybody have the previous week doubts and present week, the both weeks doubts we will clarify in this what tomorrow session. Okay, now so you just come out tomorrow at 11:30 to 12:30. Okay, and next class is on Monday. But Monday, as usual, you all people come to this block and stay at the cellar. Okay, now stay at cellar, and my people will take care you. Okay, to take out somewhere. Okay, na understand na? Somewhere means don't fear, yaar. आपको कुछ नहीं होगा. Okay, so you don't worry about that. But you all offline students come as usual on Monday to this building. Okay, and my people will take care to you. Okay, because of some room adjustments they are doing that. By that reason, they will decide Monday where is your class, and to that they will be bring you. Okay, now okay, right guys. So notes I already share you, so there's nothing here. Okay guys, then we will meet on tomorrow through what online we will meet it. Okay, right guys. So thank you so much. And online students, you also come on tomorrow. Have a doubts, we will clear it up. आपने एक पूछा ना मेरे को, जैसे पावर बीआई के ऊपर एक्सपीरियंस रखना है, मेरे को एक्सपीरियंस सर्टिफिकेट चाहिए करके। एक कंसल्टेंसी है, वो आपको देता हूँ, उनसे एक बार बात कीजिए। आपका पावर बीआई कोर्स हो गया ना? कोर्स हो गया? अच्छा ठीक है, मैं एक नंबर देता हूँ और उस नंबर को कॉल करके मैं ऐसे, मेरे पे ऐसे गैप है, मेरे को एक्सपीरियंस शो करना है। सो हाँ, एक्सपीरियंस पुट करना चाहता हूँ। सो उसके बारे में मेरे को सर्टिफिकेट चाहिए। सो आप प्रोवाइड करते हैं, मतलब कर रहा है करके मैंने सुना हूँ। मेरा नाम बता दो, सुधाकर सर ने मेरे को रेफर किया है। ही वाज वर्किंग इन नरिश आईटी। सो मेरा नाम बताएगा तो वो आपको वो ये आपका कितना साल का एक्सपीरियंस आपको चाहिए, वो पूरा आप उसको टाइम टू टाइम, डेट टू डेट, कहाँ से कहाँ तक देना है। सो पूरा आप एक पेपर में लिख कर उसको देगा तो, और उनका कंसल्टेंसी कंपनीज है, सो उसके थ्रू आपको देगा और वो एक्सपीरियंस आप शो कर सकते हैं इंटरव्यू पर, और एनी बैकग्राउंड वेरिफिकेशन इज कमिंग टू यू, सो दे विल टेक केयर ऑफ दैट। ओके, सो इसलिए आप जेन्युइन से बात कीजिए। मैं जो बोल रहा हूँ आपको मे बी इज राइट और रॉन्ग, आई डोंट नो, बट यू हैव टू